the heaviest snatch ever again. Some freakish front squats, and again, in my best Bernie impression, I come this time backed by Zach and Owen from Seeker Strength, asking for your support to save weightlifting. So on that third point, and to kick the show off, and I'm going to do this really quickly, weightliftinghouse.com/save weightlifting. Link is down below. It just gives you a list of all of the emails of the member federations with a draft email that you can literally just copy and paste, change your name, send it to those member federations to show that you want them to vote correctly at the end of this week. At the end of this week, we will basically be deciding, relying on these people as to whether weightlifting remains in the Olympics for Paris or not. So if you want to make a difference, now is the time. And of course, if you want to learn more, just check out Zach Tellender's most recent video. I'll put a link to that below as well, where he, Owen and I talk about what's happening in our sport. Next, and this will happen very quickly, let's just take a quick look at who won the belt giveaway. A few of you have seen this here over the last few weeks. We did a giveaway on the Weightlifting House store Instagram page. So the winner of that is... Hey! There we go. ABC_D118. So that's heading to Finland. Guys, if you want to win other things, then Weightlifting House store on Instagram is how you can do that. Now, the first list that I want to talk about is an accessory, really, and it's from the GOAT. It's from the strongest woman in the world on the weightlifting side. We have Wenwen. She hit 200 kilos for it's a jerk recovery, but it's not your standard jerk recovery from a split position. It's a jerk recovery from, feet are together, so I guess it's almost like a power jerk recovery. 200 kilos, 13 kilos over the world record. It is 7 kilos over anything that any woman has ever hit in competition in the clean and jerk. It is 200. Some of you might think it's 195, but it's definitely a men's bar. You can see that center now. So just incredible. Also, actually, just remembered, there's a Patreon video of Wenwen that I uploaded to Weightlifting House Patreon last week, so you can check that out if you fancy it. Okay, so next I want to talk about some truly absurd front squats. Now, I know that Seeker Strength have beaten me to this one, but even so, I got to mention them for those of you who don't check out the Seeker stuff. Artyom Antropov from Kazakhstan. He's 21 years old. He hit 222 kilos in the clean and jerk at the Asian Champs recently. We've definitely seen him clean 225 in the past. He just hit 272 kilos, that is 600 pounds, for a front squat, and he did it. He just holds position so perfectly. He is the blockiest person I've seen in weightlifting for a long time. Like from head to neck to torso, it's very much just straight lines. Thickest neck in the game. So incredible lift from him, 272 kilo front squat. He also did a 260 kilo triple. So certainly an up-and-coming front squat legend. It's not quite the Ilya 290 that we saw back in, 2014? Though that was, to be fair, he was a 105 back then. He's also actually Artyom Antropov, the 2017 IWF Youth World Champion. So yeah, crazy front squats. Go check him out. Also, while we're on the topic of Kazakhstan, I know that he's not a current lifter, but also having mentioned Ilya, did you guys see that Ilya snatched 160? I'm not sure what's going on there. I actually dropped him a message and I said, Ilya, are you making a comeback? He said no. He said he's doing it just for fun. But, 160 just for fun. Looks like he's putting in a bit of work there, so we'll see. Next, we have one of the biggest PRs that we've seen on the news show. It's from Solfrid Koanda from Norway. Now, she hit 100-130 at the 2021 European Championships, and she's just hit a 110 kilo snatch PR. So obviously that's 10 kilos more than she's hit in competition, but in terms of an actual PR, here's how it went. A few days prior, she was missing 95 kilos for singles in the snatch. Then she had to do doubles at 92 kilos that were going well, so she hit 92, then she went up to 95. She avenged those 95 single misses with doubles. She then went up to 100 and doubled it. She then went to 105 kilos, which was a PR single, and hit it for a single, went for the double, and just missed it behind, and then thought, what the hell, jumped up another 5 kilos. So at this point, she's at like a 6 or 7 kilo PR for a single, and she smokes it. So that's ridiculous. So huge shout out to Solfrid Koanda for that lift. Next, we have the 20-year-old 49 kilo weightlifter from Italy, Giulia Imperio. Now, she just hit 85 kilos in the snatch, which is a lift that we've seen from her before. I think she did that at the 2021 IWF Junior World Championships back in May. So 85 kilos, she has unreal movement. Her lockout is absolute filth. Her bottom position is fantastic. She hasn't clean and jerked 100 kilos yet, but she did also hit, over the last couple of weeks, 120 in the front squat, and then perhaps more impressively, 130 for 4 in the back squat. She weighs 49 kilos, 130 for 4, and she just grinds that final rep out like a champ. So definitely going to be an international senior medalist one day. So if you're not following Giulia Imperio, it's worth doing that. That's Giulia with a G. Moving up north slightly now to Great Britain, we have the announcement of a retirement of one of the best weightlifters that we've ever had. Gosh, sounds like I was choking up there. Maybe I was. Emily Muskett, formerly Emily Godley. Some of you may know her with that name. She's a 2021 European champion. 2019 World Championships bronze medalist in the clean and jerk. She's a 2018 Commonwealth Games champion. She's a Commonwealth Championships champion. She's about as accomplished as it gets. She was in Tokyo, just a few weeks ago, and having had quite the illustrious career, a lot of difficulties, I think, over the last 18 months, she's finally decided that she's going to turn her hat in and retire from the sport. So on behalf of everybody who's enjoyed watching Emily Muskett, we will miss you. Okay, quickly, before we get into the heaviest snatch ever, which I know is the main reason why a lot of you have clicked on this video, I've got to announce Coaches Only is back. We've spoken a lot about Athletes Only. Coaches Only is back. Here are the first 4 people. We have Dave Spitz. He's going to be talking about the business side of running a successful weightlifting program. We have Jean-Patrick Millette, my boy JP, talking about the scientific method of programming. Michaela Breeze talking about weightlifting terminology for better coaching. And the repeat favorite, everybody loves him, Dr. Sergey Putsov, the happiest man in weightlifting, talking about implementing Soviet research into modern programming. Now, the price right now, early bird tickets at $175 for the 2 days. It's October 16th and 17th. 2 days via Zoom. It's, we've had some absolutely unbelievable testimonials, quotes from well-known coaches, coaches who are there to learn about how incredible and valuable these coaches-only seminars are for the coaching community. So if you want to get an early bird ticket, I'll put a link to that down below. Also, we'll release the final 4 names over the coming weeks. Okay, over to the Georgia now, and once again, not quite Lasha time. Anton Plesnoy, 165 kilo double in the snatch. This was prior to Tokyo. Obviously, we've seen him do 181 in competition. In Tokyo, he was a little bit more injured. He was in the mid-70s, but 165 for double is pretty big. Speaking of pretty big lifts by a Georgian, it's that time now. Lasha Talakadze once again snatched 225 kilos. Now, this was a lift that he actually hit prior to Tokyo. He hit 225 also, when was it? It was when we actually just moved into this new warehouse, actually. So it was right at the start of May. He hit that 225, and he's just done it again. In fact, I'm gonna have to rewatch it, just because you can't watch a 225 snatch enough times. And it's, you know what, it's really nice. I don't think it's quite as easy as his previous 225 that we saw. It's definitely not as nice looking as the 223 that he hit at the Olympic Games. But I guess he wasn't peaked at this point. Wow, that's huge. Yeah, he wasn't peaked at this point. You have no idea what he'd done before this. He may have been doing his standard doubles at 200, 210. He might have taken a couple singles at 220. We don't really know. But this is, at this point, we're looking at 9 kilos more than anything that any other weightlifter has ever hit in competition. Certainly more than any other weightlifter has hit on video. And it's now 2 kilos more than he has hit in competition. So the 4 slabs, the mythical 500 is, it's approaching. And you can actually see there's a little bit of a readjustment. There's a very slight fight to save and stabilize the bar in the bottom of that lift. When people say that he's snatched like 240, he just hasn't. I'd be surprised, honestly, if he snatched over 230 in training. Yeah, that's a great lift. So 225 once again from Lasha Talakadze. Next, we have someone who's going to be at Athletes Only, actually. We have David Liti from New Zealand, strongest man in the Oceanic region. He just posted videos of some of his biggest clean and jerks prior to Tokyo 2. It's that time of the quad where we get to see all of these big lifts that people kept suppressed because they didn't want their competitors to see. This time, 230 in the clean and jerk, 233, and again 233. So 3 big lifts. The initial 230, which you can see right now if you're watching this on YouTube, is very easy. The 233s won. I mean, they looked great. They really did, but not quite like this 230. That was one of those days where, you know, everything was going right and it just was crisp. Really nice lift. Looked like he could have probably done 240 on that day. He ended up with 236 in Tokyo, which is a competition record for him. So things went well for David Liti there, but that 230 is really pretty to see. And then the final lift before we move on to the people's lifts, we have Jasim Salwan, the 109 kilo lifter from Iraq. Now, we haven't seen him compete. Well, actually, no, that's not fair. He has been competing recently, just not up to the standard that he was. A couple of years ago, he got injured, so he was totally out of competition for a little while. But he's just posted these videos, and I don't think they're old, because normally if you post an old video, it will say, you know, 2018 or something like that. These didn't. 192 kilos in the snatch. World record's 200, so, you know, this is pretty big. That's what, 96% of the world record. 230 in the clean and jerk, that's more like 96% of the world record. Wait, is that what I just said? Yeah, they're both 96. Yeah, 96% of the world record. And they look really good. He's an incredibly snappy lifter. He's got elbow hyperextension. Like a substantial amount of it for a lifter of his size. A lot of the time you see with the 109s, they're so sort of muscle bound that they can't really hyperextend quite like the 49 kilo lift. It's like Giulia Imperio, who I just mentioned earlier. Like, she's got a great hyperextension. Jasim Salwan has also got that too. In 2018 at the World Champs, he went 180, 222. He did 181, 224 at the Asian Championship, no, at the Asian Games that year also. So these lifts, this 192, 230, are above anything he's ever hit in competition. So that's good. But then again, they also come from that training hall where we see a lot of lifters who hit enormous lifts and then a short while later get banned. So I don't know what it is about this training hall, but we see big lifts there sometimes. So take these 192 and 230 lifts with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Okay, and then finally, the last thing I want to do is the people's lifts. I've actually only written down one of the lifts I wanted to go through here, so I'm going to pull the others up from my phone. But we're going to start off with Ryan Sesta. He's a 102 kilo lifter. His progress recently has been absurd. He's been snatching in the 160s, been clean and jerking in the 190s, and then finally 200 kilo clean and jerk PR, which is huge. So if you're not following him, I mean, he's a 102. If he was competing for many other countries, he'd be an international lifter at this point. But he's not, because the USA is becoming bizarrely dominant in the sport. So 200 kilos for Ryan Sesta. Go follow Ryan. His Instagram handle is rsester, R-S-E-S-T-E-R, Ryan Sesta on Instagram. USA weightlifting national champ from the 102 kilo category. And this 200, I'm going to watch it again. He's got a pull on him. That's a nice little arm bend as he pulls, bit of a Lasha pull there. Barely dips on that jerk. Gets under it. Great knee bend. Damn. Or the next one was Mean Fit Foxes. She posted some videos of her lifting, slow-mo snatches, other exercises. She says, "For me, every day is a new start, new opportunity, a new chance. Still, September is exciting, like a second new year. Probably something that has remained from the school years, but basically getting excited that it's that time of year where she can kind of create this new starting position upon which she can build and become a better weightlifter. I just really like that kind of mindset. So if you're feeling that you need a new start, then take a leaf out of Mean Fit Fox's Instagram. That is MEANFIT Foxes, Foxes. It's Polina Liu on Instagram, and get better at weightlifting. Then we have a lift that we can't not talk about. Chris Polzathorn, who's a friend of mine, used to lift at Oxford Power Sports, now lifts at Loughborough, 205 kilo jerk. That's huge. I mean, he's a 109, I guess. He's a pretty big guy, but this is massive. And when I first met him, he was clean and jerking, 160 at a push. Then that pushed up into 80s. I think he then cleaned in the 190, and then the jerk has just gone on and on and on. 205 kilos in the jerk is huge. You can follow Chris at CPT_WL. That is CPT for Chris Polzathorn _WL on Instagram. Let's do one more. And to get on this show, just use the hashtag #ThePeoplesLifts is what I'm typing in right now, and I go through this hashtag. This is how I find all of these lifts. And if I deem your lift sufficiently epic, I will mention it. Ooh, birthday lifts. Okay, this is from Sahil 61 kg. Pretty fast lifter, unbelievable depth. He's wearing those Velasas. Yeah, tremendous depth. Not the best ankle mobility, but hips. Wow. That's an acute angle he's got there, guys. That's Sahil Gupta, Sahil 61 kg on Instagram. That's an epic lift. Oh yeah, then this was another lift that I actually saved that I wanted to mention for the news show. So I've actually mentioned Matthew Montgomery before. He says he's a 102, looks like a 109, but I'm going to take his word for it. 200 kilo double jerk. This has been a really impressive people's lift. We had Ryan with a 200 clean and jerk. We had Chris with a 205 jerk. And now 200 double by Matthew Montgomery. He is a 102, lifts for Team Alpha Barbell. That's unbelievable. Go follow Matthew Montgomery. Okay, and then final lift, because I want to end this on a high note, and this is actually another really impressive lift. This is posted by Power Camp Weightlifting, friends of ours, Power Camp in France. Phenomenal gym. They always stock our tape and support us. They're really, really awesome. Just posted a video of a 93 kilo snatch off blocks for Lorraine Fauvel, LAURENE.FVL on Instagram. She's a 64 kilo weightlifter. Her best lift's at 85-104, and she just snatched 93 off blocks. This is an absurd people's lift segment. She's phenomenal. So go follow Power Camp Weightlifting and also Lorraine.FVL on Instagram for more freaky weightlifting motivation. Guys, hugely appreciate you tuning in. There's a link down below to weightliftinghouse.com/save weightlifting, and also to the next Coaches Only conference. Can't speak again. This has been happening all day. October 16th to 17th, 2-day seminar. The first 4 speakers to announce are Dave Spitz, Jean-Patrick Millet, Michaela Breeze, Dr. Sergey Putsov. Links down below. Catch you guys soon.